Africa is a continent rich with opportunity. And when business and communities come together, its astonishing potential begins to be felt. With the Sustainable Development Goals steering these partnerships, Africa's future is being rewritten with innovation, foresight, and inclusivity. Crossing the length and breadth of the continent, our journalists uncover these stories and share them with the world. Join us now for remarkable stories of partnerships across Africa, building the future and changing lives. It's Africa's time.
Al-Dunya, the mother of the world, is what locals call Cairo. This third world megacity with its more than 12 million people, 75% of whom are under 25, is heaving and straining under the pressure. With a bustling blend of old and new worlds, one thing's for certain: outdated business models need to change. Over the past 6 decades, Cairo's streets have become congested, and kiosks full of soda, cigarettes and cheap consumer goods have overwhelmed Egypt's largest city. Taysir Ibrahim is a young Egyptian who sees an opportunity in upgrading the maligned kiosk sector.
The kiosks have been a ubiquitous landmark in Egypt for quite a while now. It started in the 50s as a project for underprivileged by the government, but it turned out to be a very profitable sales channel, and it grew a lot. So now we have more than 30,000 kiosks in Egypt. It's a really big business. Some kiosks you see now in the streets, it's the same like 30 years ago. They didn't change anything, which is very strange for me. I know that they have the clients. They should have some development going on there. And the companies don't want to spend money there. They don't want to change it to a modern trade. They want to keep it traditional so that they can get all the money they can. And I thought this was unfair.
Taysir and his partners decided to do something about this and created a company called Tatweer. They recognized that low-income customers are often ignored by formal markets. Despite their limited purchasing power, these consumers represent a large and growing collective market that needs to be catered for.
Actually, Tatweer means development in Arabic. So we're starting with street kiosks, but we should not stop there. There's a lot of issues that need to be developed in Egypt, like, for example, fruit stands or even food stands. Egypt needs change. Egypt needs people to start thinking outside the box, think how to do business differently. I think if people start looking at unconventional business in Egypt, it's going to take them somewhere else. I met Mohammed during the revolution, and he introduced me to the other two co-founders. And since then, we found that we all share the same belief, that governments can't do it alone. The private sector has to have a role, and has to have a role not only for normal businesses, but businesses that really help the country.
The 2011 revolution, with its political turmoil, may have brought the members of Tatweer together, but it created a further tension between the government and kiosk operators, resulting in some being removed from the inner city. This made it difficult to engage with the kiosk owners.
Of course, in the beginning, it was very hard because we were selling a new concept to a guy who owns his business. So you're telling him, I'm gonna, like something like partnering together in your business, which for him is a weird concept. Why would I partner with someone when I'm my own king? They want to see something, and we still didn't have anything in the streets, so it was hard. But once we did the first one, it was much easier after that. Okay, this is our first kiosk that we've done. It was done in February this year. Assalamu alaikum. The model is very easy. What we do is that we go to an existing kiosk and we tell them that we're going to give him this new kiosk for free. And not only that, we're going to give him a monthly incentive because we're going to take from him some advertising to sell it to other sponsors. So we have to give him a kickback from this advertising. So for him, it's a zero-risk project, and we try to develop these kiosks not only in terms of aesthetics, where you can see a better kiosk, but also in the way they're doing business. For the kiosk owner, also, he's getting more security, because when you look at this kiosk comparing to other kiosks in the street, it's much better. Even for the government, they now look at it that is different. So they don't want to remove him, for example, or give him penalties because he's doing something nice.
عندنا في ناس مقتنعة ان بتاع الكشك ده راجل شمام او بلطجي او خريج سجون او اي حاجه من الكلام ده. حاصل على ثانويه ازهريه وبعد كده خدت اصول دين. الكليه بتاعتي كانت في جامعه اسيوط. طبيعي انه حر ما يستغربش لان احنا في بلد ما فيهاش وظائف في الوقت الحالي. فانا بعاوز ادخل زياده لدخلي وازود دخلي لي انا واخواتي. فرق معاها بكتير الشكل الجمالي اللي كذا زبون بيجي يكلمني في الموضوع ان هو ده احلى بكتير، شكله اشيك، الله ده شكله حلو، بيشكر في شكله انه شكله حلو وجميل في الشارع، عامل منظر حضاري في الشارع وانا بعرف.
5 kiosks were part of the pilot project and have reported an increase of nearly 50% in profit since they were upgraded. With more than 50,000 kiosks in and around Cairo, this model holds great potential. Taysir introduced the Tatweer concept to an industry workshop about fast-moving consumer goods, hosted by the Inclusive Business Action Network, IBAN.
Inclusive business is when a business model targets the so-called BOP, meaning the base of the pyramid, that's the poorest of the poor.
There's a lack of affordable energy, clean water, like really basic needs that need to be fulfilled. And slowly, enterprises and businesses are realizing that this is a big market they haven't been targeting so far. And yeah, it's a win-win.
My name is Azzat Naeem. I am from the Spirit of Youth Association. We are representing more than 1 million people are living on recycling, and I'm here because I'm going to talk about a project between us and Procter & Gamble for recycling the empty bottles of the shampoo.
The collaboration between Izzat's NGO and Procter & Gamble is an example of how inclusive partnerships can work. This innovative model involves collecting and recycling the company's shampoo bottles, which were previously being refilled and resold illegally. The profits from this fund a school in the suburb of Zabaleen, where the recycling community lives.
فعشان كده اولادنا بيتظلموا وما بيروحوش المدارس، عشان كده بنعمل مدارس احنا زي مدرسه اعاده التدوير اللي هتصوروا فيها، وبنعمل محو اميه عشان نعوض الولاد دول انهم يندمجوا تاني في التعليم بطريقه نون فورمال مش انفورمال. مستر رامسيس ذا نيو جنريشن اوف pharaonic كينج. صباح الفل، يلا بينا. This is Laila, the manager of the school.
Hi.
The school is opened about 8 hours a day, from 9 in the morning up to 6 in the evening, that the kids can come wherever they like, because they are busy with the family and working in garbage. They are being educated, and also they earn money, because they deliver the shampoo bottles here in double price. And we respect the kids here. We don't strike them. We love them. And in the meantime, he's being educated and learning how to read and write, learning mathematics, which is very important for him to prepare himself to go to preparatory school or high school or university. By the way, all of the teachers here are daughters and sons of the garbage collectors. So we are serving our community, we are serving our children. So all of us are insiders, we are not outsiders. والدي كان زبال اصلا، ورث المهنه عن جدي، ما نقدرش نسيب هنا ابدا. احنا بنعتبر نفسنا زي السمك، لو خرجنا من الميه نموت. احنا بنعمل اعاده تدوير ل 85% من الزباله. احنا بنجمع من القاهره كلها في ال6 مناطق حوالي 12,000 طن يوميا، كلنا شغالين، ما عندناش مشكله اطفال شوارع، ما عندناش مشكله تشرد، كل الناس شغاله. سياده الرئيس لو غاب عن البلد وراح مؤتمر او حاجه بيحل محله رئيس الوزراء او اي حد ينوب عنه. يعني لو غبنا عن القاهره اسبوع القاهره تغرق تحت الزباله.
Izzat and his community of garbage collectors and recycling specialists know their value in sustaining Cairo and its economy. Big business is also starting to see the real value of working with grassroots entrepreneurs and NGOs. Egypt's rich history of trade and commerce continues to shift and change as it brings new players from unexpected quarters onto a more inclusive playing field. Looking out from the lighthouse in Jamestown, one of Accra's oldest suburbs, one can see fisher boats lying close to the shore. Locals refer to this part of the coastline as Bola Beach, which means garbage dump. Plastic bottles and coconut shells litter the sand. Amin Saleh and his business partner Zakaria Mohammed are 2 young Ghanaians who've worked together to try and find a solution to deal with Ghana's growing waste problem. Amin has come up with an innovative way of recycling organic coconut debris into green energy to produce a slow-burning clean charcoal.
I am just shocked at what is happening here. Just imagine the CO2 being exposed to the atmosphere. So imagine if this happens all the time. And this is just one of the dump sites out of a lot in the country. We are just destroying our own world, basically. But this is a resource for me. This is something I could make very good use of. And this is what is happening to it. So I'm just sad. Very sad, actually. Very, very sad. And this is just very close to the beach. So as you can see, there's some liquid waste, and this is all ending up into the beach. The sea is universal. So if you don't care about what's happening in Ghana, this might end up wherever you are. So what my idea is to just collect all the coconut waste in the city of Accra, convert it to clean, affordable energy. Over 70% of the people, even in Accra, rely on charcoal as their main source of energy. This charcoal and firewood expose a lot of dangerous smoke into the atmosphere, and mostly it's our women and children that are very close to these smokes. So they inhale these dangerous smokes, they get infected by a lot of respiratory diseases. So you see the suit all over. This is what really kills people, the black suit. This is firewood. Deforestation is a very big issue in Ghana. I think every year Ghana loses about 135,000 hectares of forest land. That's more than half of the country's land size. My neighborhood is like an example, a living testimony of what I'm doing. So as you can see, all these are from the forest. We are cutting down trees to feed ourselves.
Amin, a law student, has found himself focusing more and more on finding solutions to the global energy and environmental crisis.
I am a very curious person, very curious. I wish to know how almost everything works. I've done readings on how the rockets fly to Mars. I've done research on how the engine even works. And the question I ask myself is, how are these guys able to come up with great inventions that I can't? So I think through curiosity, I realized the least I could also do is make good use of waste. And this was something that was staring me in the face almost every corner in Accra. There's a spot for coconut sellers. I've actually done a head count. There are over 1,000 of them in Accra alone.
Amin recruited and paid coconut waste collectors from all over Accra to bring the shells to his house instead of the dump. He then experimented with different methods of carbonizing the husks with the aim of producing a cleaner charcoal.
I tried it on a small scale. It worked very well. And that really was like the biggest boost for me. Yeah, so this is the Zaku for ordinary households. We sell this very cheap to the ordinary household, very cheap. These are samples, you could see, from an improvised machine. It's very clean. It doesn't even stain your hand, if you could see it. So that's Zaku for you. So you meet my first customers, my first users of Zaku.
This charcoal is the best, no smoke. To be honest with you, in the beginning when my friend told me that his brother is going to try to use the coconut thing to make a charcoal, I wasn't convinced. But when he brings out, I saw it and then I put it in the fire, I do my tea, I'm convinced.
Amin realized that his idea was workable, but that it needed to be upscaled. An innovator at heart, he started exploring various business models. He was invited to the Inclusive Business Action Network IBAN workshop, which brought together innovators, entrepreneurs and business experts in the energy sector to discuss energy solutions for low-income communities in West Africa. The Inclusive Business Action Network is a community of role players in the BOP sector who work towards enabling inclusive business.
Inclusive business is really about how private sector organizations can reach out to lower income people. So it's beyond that donation charity idea. The inclusive business idea is really see them as customers, as producers, as part of the economic value chain to really try to enhance their income and to make projects and services that is affordable for them.
Amin used the IBAN platform to develop his business idea.
So through GIZ and iSpace, I've been able to pitch my idea to like a whole lot of people. Now I'm getting impressive feedbacks, having all this experienced international consultants, actually discussing how we could grow my business. What more can I ask for? It's just priceless.
In northern Ghana, there's another initiative. This one is trying to address deforestation in a practical way, which saves women time and money. Hamdia Mohammed is the manager of a project that's bringing the new cooking bag into homes all over Tamale. The new cooking bag uses less wood and charcoal for traditional cooking, as it reduces the time required over the open fire.
We'll wait until it's boiling, so that I'll wait for 2 minutes so that I can send it to the cooking bag.
Once it's boiled, the pot and its contents are put directly into the new cooking bag. Because of the insulating properties, the temperature remains high and food continues to cook until it's ready.
So now I'm finished preparing my jollof rice. Yeah. It's very delicious.
That's great.
Tuma Viela means good work, and Hamdia Mohammed has risen through the ranks to become the manager of both the plastic recycling project and the new cooking bag project. Hamdia works closely with Ellen Seldent-Hayes, who started the project.
All the children from Tamale are bringing their pure water rubbers to us, and we are making the school bags for them, raincoats. We wanted to do it for the environment, but also for the women to have work. If you start something from the beginning and you see people grow, especially you see women grow, you see that things are developing, it keeps you going, really, yeah.
Namana kabatum dan yorba be school fees. Malonguna, the number so pam. Zon kamin batin nangula.
For Hamdia and the women of the project, this is about more than just earning a living. They're investing in the future of their children and playing a small role in protecting the environment for future generations, affecting real change at a grassroots level.
When I see the trees, the leaves are even greener, the flowers seem to smell a little sweeter now. Each day is radiant and new. Life's a little brighter.
Regency Foundation, in partnership with the United Nations Development Programme, has sent film crews across Africa for their TV and online series It's Africa's Time, to explore the transformative power of inclusive business across Africa.
We went out expecting to find interesting stories, but what we discovered at the core of it all is the huge impact that business is making in people's lives. And this is just the beginning.
We are looking at changing people's lives, and we're looking at the whole concept of transformation of economies.
Business is good. It's great.
I feel like I'm a hero.
It's not easy for me. I'm not a movie star.
Life's a little brighter with you.
Nigeria requires 16 million new homes to meet the immediate needs of its people, the vast majority of whom earn less than $4 a day. Masaka in Nasarawa State is a typical informal settlement and a reflection of how many poor Nigerians live. Structures are haphazardly erected with no forward planning. There are little or no public services. Landlords often own whole compounds and offer little support to residents. Solomon Madaki first lived here when he arrived from Kaduna State looking for employment.
Masaka is no address, very congested. When I was living there, I have to park my car very far away from my house because no road to the house with a car. So I will show you where I lived before. This is the main compound where I was living. Like here, I was the one that made this bacha. It's just like a kitchen for me. This is the toilet. So this is where I stayed before. As you can see, it's not normal person that will live in this kind of a house that will tell you that, no, I'm comfortable. It's not comfortable.
Solomon found a job as a driver with the Millard Fuller Foundation, an organization that focuses on creating affordable housing for the masses.
We provide affordable houses, not like a big man that want to make money, we come and buy an estate. No, we don't build house for such people. We build house for people that are in need.
With Nigeria's population predicted to double in the next few decades, low-cost, affordable housing for poor communities is set to become the fastest-growing sector. The Inclusive Business Action Network, IBAN, is a global multi-stakeholder network unlocking the power of inclusive business. The My Home, Your Business Affordable Housing Sector Dialogue brought together a range of industry players to promote partnerships in the BOP market.
Housing is a multi-stakeholder approach, so you need access to land, you need access to finance, you need somebody who provides a technical solution, you need somebody who buys the house. So from my point of view, a public-private partnership model is one of the most promising vehicles to drive affordable housing.
I think in affordable housing, there's a special kind of entrepreneurs that are needed. We really need the persistent type, the creative type, the ones that are able to push business as usual. So it's not your average entrepreneur, because there's lots of money to be made in affordable housing, but it's not tomorrow. So you have to have these kind of people that can see the long vision.
For Sam Odia, the housing crisis is more than just a business opportunity. It's a calling.
Faith is very important to me. I realized that I had a ministry of housing to work on, and that was strange to me because I'd never really heard of that sort of ministry. I'd always imagined a church ministry to be a ministry behind the pulpit. Things have to change, and I think the best way to begin to effect change is to effect that change in a small way in your locality. So that's what we're trying to do. It's very easy to make policies in an air-conditioned office somewhere in the middle of town when you're not seeing on a daily basis the real need of the people. We see those needs because of where we're located.
For decades, government housing providers and developers have built homes for practically everyone except the poor majority. Sam Odia and his architect wife Funmi believe that by operating in this vital yet underdeveloped and unpopular space, social change and business value can go hand in hand.
We have a very large percentage of poor people in Nigeria, and it's a shame when in a country as big as Nigeria with 160 or 70 million people, you are excluding 90% of the population from your government programs.
Sam and Funmi are passionate about finding creative housing solutions that bring dignity to families who live in poor and congested conditions.
We're not interested in building luxury housing or even housing for the middle class. Our intention is to build houses that are hopefully affordable to a lower end of the market. There are a lot of challenges. Housing finance is a really big one. Even people who earn enough money to pay a mortgage usually have difficulty building up the deposit.
This housing project in Luvu, Madaki, Masaka, outside Abuja, has been designed to allow first-time homeowners to expand and to grow their homes as their means allow. A basic one-bedroom or studio apartment shell is provided, which can then be further developed.
We would call it incremental housing, and the whole idea is that you might not be able to afford the entire house, but it's much easier for you to afford a smaller unit, and when you finish paying off for that unit, you can then expand and put the additional room.
People live in unplanned settlements. It results in chaos. It needs intervention. The environment needs to be planned, it needs to be ordered so that people can live, better lives.
For those trapped by poverty, owning their own home seems like an unreachable dream. Solomon realized that he could have a different reality. With the help of the Millard Fuller Foundation, he managed to put a finance plan in place and is now a proud homeowner.
This is my new home. This is where I live now. And this is my beautiful daughter. This is I and my wife. This is the size of the kitchen. Ai dama burin namiji shine ya kasance yana da gida, yana da kuma abin da zai iya ba ma iyalin shi don su ci. Baka da gurin kwana, baka da abincin ci, ai baka cika mai gida ba kenan. Idan kin duba kamar yanzu nan haka, zan iya kulle daki na yi tafiya ba mai ce min ina za ka. In na gan dama in dawo karfe 30 ba mai ce ina ka fito domin mai gidan nawa ne ko ba haka ba. Yanzu da ni na fita zuwa nan sai abin ya zama min kamar al'ajibi ne.
Another resident whose life has been transformed is Esther Olawele, a single mom and teacher who was living in a one-roomed mud house with her 4 children. Esther joined a savings scheme and with additional help from her church managed to raise the deposit. She's now paying off her own home.
Ó difficult fún àwọn èèyàn láti rí ilé níbí ní Masakambi especially. They won't mind bóyá fresh air wà or no fresh air. Wọ́n kàn build ilé anyhow. So àwọn èèyàn suffer gan. Inú mi dùn púpọ̀. Gbogbo ìyà tí mo ti jẹ torí landlord problem. Mo ní freedom from landlord. So kò sẹ́ni tó ń disturb mi. Ilé náà ó bò wá láṣìírí gidigidi gan.
I'm excited about seeing environments change, seeing a dream come true. Lives are changed by that process. So it's social engineering, really. You're engineering people's lives through built structures. So that really excites me.